Here's what's to come on these builders' path to performance.
We're well known for the muscle car and performance street stuff. I think four-wheel drive is what's coming next.
The 69 Firebird that we built last year, yeah, that car went 200 miles an hour.
Now we're gonna get the truck in the shop, get it on the lift and start tearing it down.
We're still confident in bringing a bare metal car. I knew the risk going into this. It's always gonna come down to the wire.
This year, we're taking you inside the garages of 4 of the best builders as they bring their cars to life. One of them could take home the Barrett-Jackson Cup. This is the Path to Performance, presented by Castrol Edge.
So last time you guys were here, we were working on fabricating the wiper cowl. So we've since got that complete. So that's all complete and finished and on the car and done. We also jumped up to the front end and we're working on the front lower valence and building all that from scratch. So we built that and then pocketed it for the bumper so the bumper sits in flush and nice and tight like it does in the back. We've also got the front bumper built and it's getting some final touches on it right now before it gets installed. On the bottom side of the car, which you can't see much of that now, but we've got all the exhaust system built, all the fuel lines, all the brake lines, drive shaft, vent lines, rear end vent line, fuel tank vent line, all that stuff's done on the bottom side of the car. We also mounted the trunk latch release and door emergency latch release underneath the car, and it's allowing us to get into the car if we were ever to lose power. So that's all been mounted. Inside the car, we've got started on the dash. Top section of the dash is still fairly original looking. The bottom side, again, looks original, but it's just longer, hangs down a little bit lower. And then all the fasteners on top to make it bolt in. We've also inside, underneath the dash, mounted air conditioning box, brakes, different control modules for the engine computer, transmission computer, fuel pump controller, electric fan controllers. Those are all mounted up underneath the dash. Inside the trunk, we went ahead and mounted all of our electronic components. So everything from the fuse panel, stereo processors, subwoofer, all that's been mounted in the trunk. We've installed all of the factory windows in the trim and started getting all that fit. We are going to work on rebuilding all this trim around the window to make sure everything has nice even gaps all the way around. On the window trim, the reason we're modifying and making our own stuff is just to get the correct fit. You know, in 1959, when this car was built, everything was productionized at the technology level they had in 1959. That's the reasoning for either modifying or making some of the trim that we're doing, is to make sure everything is up to a high standard.
Now over to the Roadster Shop to see how they're doing on the C10.
Last time you guys were out here, we were wrapping up getting a full rolling chassis together and looking to pick the right donor truck.
Now we're gonna get the truck in the shop, get it on the lift and start tearing it down, yard out all the old chassis, suspension, motor trans, all the old mechanicals, and really all we're left using is just the body from the original truck. So we need to get that down to its bare form and you know, kind of give us a platform to start on. We're well known for the muscle car and performance street stuff. I think four-wheel drive is what's coming next. We've got a lot of our customers really wanting something they can almost daily drive, but still have the soul of a hot rod, but all the modern performance of, you know, what they're used to in their new Silverado 1500 truck. So we kind of combine the both of them. There's nothing like it out there, and you know, we're excited to get more of them on the road and kind of just start a whole new chapter in the hot rod world.
The chassis that we build, they're very complex. There's a tremendous amount of parts and pieces that are all one-off custom to our chassis that it's very difficult to do it on a one-off basis. I've got a pre-made wiring harness that's ready to rock. So what typically takes a guy 80 hours maybe to wire a car front to back, we have a awesome harness that just drops right into that cab, plugs into virtually everything, every electronic component that we have, and the same goes for the engine harness. So cab harness, bed harness, engine and ECU package. Realistically, we're shaving months off of this build compared to doing it all by hand for the first time. I think it's awesome that the guys, you know, are what we're looking at as competitors, but ultimately their friends, chose to start their build with a Roadster Shop chassis. I'm humbled by it, really. You got some awesome dudes who I've looked up to for a long time using our product and trusting it under their builds.
Let's take a look at how the 1959 Impala over at BBT looks on a Roadster Shop chassis.
The 69 Firebird that we built last year that ultimately won the Barrett-Jackson Cup 2023, yeah, that car went 200 mile an hour. You know, it's purposely built for that. This car is more built to be street driven. The reason we chose the LT1 platform for this engine for the 59 Impala is just, it's GM's most modern engine. We've ran it before in some other cars, and the performance of it is it's just superior. It's probably gonna make around 550 horsepower, but it's a big car. And so we still wanna be able to stop it good. That's the reason for going with the Little Shop Manufacturing 16-inch brakes with the 6-piston calipers, is because we know what Eric's provided is gonna stop the car, and that's what we're looking for.
We've got two great engine packages from General Motors, complete with warranty. You got both ends of the spectrum. You got a 480 horsepower naturally aspirated LT1 for the guy that just wants a cruiser, which is what ended up in this truck right here.
For the guys that want a lot more performance, a lot more horsepower, we offer the supercharged LT4. You're jumping up to 650 horsepower. Still super reliable, super drivable.
We've selected factory off-the-shelf General Motors 8L90 transmission. It hasn't been opened up, nobody's touched it. It's all well-engineered, proven products. So that's our performance edge here, is reliability. The initial thought when we put this package together was serviceability, right? If a guy's gonna realistically drive this every day, I mean, there's things that come up 20,000, 30,000 miles, it's time for a brake job, right? If there's any other warranty issues, any GM dealership service center can service that. They'll have the knowledge to get around that truck front to back.
I think we're doing pretty good. I mean, it's always gonna come down to the wire, because we're gonna try to squeeze that little bit of extra work in there, do something that maybe we didn't anticipate doing. We'll make sure we use up all the time for sure.
For the 2024 Barrett-Jackson Cup, we're excited to show up with our truck. A little bit nervous because it's not built to the custom level that a lot of the other cars are, but Troy's also not finishing his car, so I don't know if that's considered taking it to the level or not.
We're still confident in bringing a bare metal car. My stand on it hasn't changed. I knew the risk going into this on bringing a bare metal car. It's not changing as we get there. I know Jeremy's planning on spraying it with salt water and making it rust.
Yeah, I think having the scope of talent that we have under one roof here definitely gives us an advantage, but that's not to say it is the ultimate advantage. We're competing against some of the most talented guys that are out there doing their own thing, and they've got a phenomenal talent pool that they're pulling from as well. So I guess we'll throw our cards on the table and see who wins here come January.